Hello guys, welcome to Ideal Bibliotheca. Today's topic is over motions of the Parliament. So let's begin. It is one of the devices of the parliamentary proceedings where no discussion on a matter of general public importance can take place except by this. However, this has to be made with the consent of the presiding officer, who is the Speaker. The House expresses its decisions, opinions on various issues through the adoption or rejection of motions, and accordingly, they can tell about what are their point of views or what are their opinions. So the first is the substantive motion, a self-contained independent proposal dealing with important matters like impeachment of the president or removal of chief election commissioner. So these are the important motions, these are the important matter motions which cannot be taken light-handedly. Then we have substitute motion. Like the name suggests, motion that is moved in substitution of an original motion, and this motion proposes an alternative to it. And if this is adopted by the House, the original motion that had come into the picture, that is superseded and this takes place. Then we have subsidiary motion. Motion that has no meaning, cannot state the decision without reference to the original motion. So in one case, in the substitute motion, this was superseding the original motion. Here it is just a part of the original motion and it cannot stand alone without the reference to the original motion or the proceedings of the House. And these are again subdivided into three categories: ancillary, superseding, amendment. Amendment, which we very plainly and simply use in our regular days and lives. This is amendment, part of the subsidiary motion that cannot take place without the reference to the original motion. So it seeks to modify or substitute only a part of the original motion. Ancillary is what? Used as the regular way of proceeding with the various kinds of business, and superseding, moved in the course of debate on another issue and seeks to supersede that issue. So this again supersedes. This amendment is just a part that we know. Then we have closer motion, motion moved by a member to cut short the debate, to just close the thing, to get into an approval and get done with it. So if a motion is approved by the House, debate is stopped, and with that the matter is put to vote. There are four kinds of closer motion: simple closure, closure by compartments, kangaroo closure, guillotine closure. Under simple closure, when a member moves that the matter having been sufficiently discussed be now put to vote. So once the closure motion is passed, if you pass the simple closure, you're like, everything is done, now just vote and get done with this matter. Closure by compartments is the clauses of a bill or for lengthy resolution are grouped into parts before the commencement of the debate, and then the debate covers the part as a whole and the entire part is put to vote then. Kangaroo closure, only important closures are taken up for debate and voting and the intervening clauses are just skipped away. Guillotine, when the undiscussed clauses of a bill or a resolution are also put to vote along with the discussed ones due to want of time. So guillotine is where you add another thing. Kangaroo is when you jump away. Closure by compartments is step by step you go with it, and simple closure is very simple. Then we have privilege motion, concerned with the breach of parliamentary privileges by a minister, moved by a member when he feels that the minister has committed a breach of privilege of the House. So when a member feels that a minister has committed some privilege that had been given by the House to him or one or more of its members by withholding facts of a case or by giving wrong or distorted facts and using the privilege of the House in a wrong way, its purpose is to censure the concerned minister. Then calling attention motion, introduced in the Parliament by a member to call the attention of a minister to a matter of urgent public importance and to seek an authoritative statement from him on that matter. Then adjournment motion, introduced in the Parliament to draw attention of the House to a definite matter of urgent public importance. So this is introduced in the Parliament to draw attention of the House, and this is just attention of a minister. This is the difference, and needs the support of 50 members to be admitted. So the motion needs to be passed by 50 members to have an admission of adjournment motion because it interrupts the normal business of the House and is also regarded as an extraordinary device, involves an element of censure against the government. Hence, Rajya Sabha not permitted to make use of this device. So, this is only for Lok Sabha. Discussion on an adjournment motion should not last for less than 2 hours and 30 minutes. Right to move for a motion of an adjournment of the business house is subjected to following restrictions. What are they? It should raise a matter which is actual में definite, factual, urgent and public importance. Should not cover more than one matter, so it should only be one matter. Should be restricted to a specific matter. Should not raise a question of privilege, should not revive discussion on a matter that has been discussed in the same session, should not deal with any matter that is under adjudication by court, and should not raise any question that can be raised on a distinct motion. So, when you don't get any other option and that matter is too urgent to talk of, then only you can have adjournment motion. Censor motion and no confidence motion. Censor motion is Article 75 of the Constitution says. This was there in Council of Minister video also we saw, and Article 75 says that the Council of Ministers shall be collectively responsible. So when they are collectively responsible, they need to have their confidence intact. So it means that the ministry stays in office so long as it enjoys confidence of the majority of the members of the Lok Sabha, and the Lok Sabha can remove the ministry by passing a no confidence motion. And once it's done, the dissolvement is certain. Then we have censure motion. It should state the reasons for its adoption in the Lok Sabha, whereas no confidence does not require that. Can be moved against an individual minister or a group of ministers. However, this is entire council. Then moved for censuring the Council of Ministers. Here moved for ascertaining the confidence of Lok Sabha. If the passed in the Lok Sabha, Council of Ministers need not resign, but if it is passed, the Council of Ministers must resign. It is very, very certain then. Then we have motion of thanks. That is that after the first session, after each general election, first session of every fiscal year is addressed by the President. And in this address, President outlines the policies, the programs of the government in the preceding year and what are the objectives in the ensuing year. So this address, which corresponds to the speech from the throne in Britain, discussed in both houses of parliament on a motion called motion of thanks, and at the end of discussion, motion is then put to vote, and it has to be passed by the house or else it amounts to the defeat of the government. And this inaugural speech of the president is an occasion available to the members of parliament to raise discussion and debates, to examine and criticize the government. Then no day yet name motion. Wow. It is a motion that has been admitted by the speaker, but no date has been fixed for its discussion. And then speaker, after considering the date in consultation with the leader or on the recommendation, can allot a day or days or part of a day for the discussion of such a motion. Then there are three small portions of motions again. Policy cut motion represents the disapproval of the policy, states that the amount of the demand be reduced, and the members can also advocate an alternative policy. So either you get away with that policy or you suggest an alternative policy. Then economy cut motion represents economy that can be affected with the proposed expenditure that has been coming up, and states that the amount of the demand be reduced, again just the amounts to be reduced. Token cut ventilates a specific grievance that is within the sphere of responsibility of the government and states that the amount of demand be reduced by ₹100. Then there are several conditions with regard to the cut motion. What are they? Should relate to one demand, clearly expressed, not contain arguments, defamatory statements also should not be there, confined to one specific matter, not make suggestions for the amendment or repeal of existing law, should not refer to a matter that is primarily not the concern of union government, should not relate to the expenditure charged, and should not relate to a matter that is under adjudication, not raise a question of privilege, not revive discussion on a matter, not relate to trivial matter. So now you see that token cut motion is just like the adjournment motion. I feel that yes, it is very important and can only be taking place when all of these matters are away. It is the exception, only then can this come up. So this is it with the motions. See, Parliament is a very, very big chapter, and I feel that instead of completing that in one day and getting exhausted and then the whole of the day goes in that chapter, instead of that, let's take portions and let's complete them so that we at the end achieve that chapter in small portions but very nicely. So this is the whole of the motion from the Parliament chapter. I hope that it was of help to you. Thanks for watching.